Hello everyone. Welcome back to the TQQQ Challenge channel. It's fantastic to have you here for our monthly update. Today, we're diving into the latest developments for November 2024. It's the evening of November 7th, 2024, so let's jump into our TQQQ monthly update. It's already been a year since our very first TQQQ Challenge video went up in December 2023. Since then, we've shared 12 TQQQ Challenge videos, with one every month. Our first video, which kicked things off on the last day of 2023, began this journey that's brought us through some significant highs and lows. Overall, our challenge has shown strong progress in these initial 12 months. I hope that your own investments have been just as fruitful, or maybe even better, than my TQQQ returns. If you haven't started investing yet, don't worry, it's never too late to join. You could start with a small amount, like $100 monthly, just as I do for QQQ and QLD. Now, TQQQ is priced around $82, up from $74 last month. In the lead up to the election, it dropped to $70 before rebounding significantly afterward. Historically, the Nasdaq has shown favorable performance in the months following U.S. Election Day, as we saw in 2016 and 2020. After the 2020 election, the Nasdaq rose 15.48% over the next 2 months. Following the 2016 election, it climbed by 3.65% during the same period. This pattern suggests that we might see a similar upward trend for the Nasdaq in the months ahead. Additionally, I recently came across an article examining average monthly stock market returns based on S&P 500 data from 1928 to 2023. Here are some highlights. The S&P 500 has historically posted positive returns in 9 out of 12 months each year. November and December rank among the months with the highest average returns. On a broader note, the stock market has tended to perform better from November through May, while June to September is often weaker, which aligns with the saying, "Sell in May and go away." Reflecting on 2024, this pattern held steady, as the summer months were challenging for the U.S. stock market. Despite the difficulties, our TQQQ Challenge weathered the summer dip. Although it was tough to hold TQQQ through a 43% dip in August, we stayed committed and didn't sell a single share. Looking ahead, I believe we have a solid chance for TQQQ to gain traction over the next 3 months, November, December, and January. Let's take a closer look at the QQQ chart on Finviz since TQQQ is a 3x leveraged ETF based on QQQ. Last month, we discussed the double top pattern in QQQ, a formation that can often signal resistance at high price points. Fortunately, QQQ has recently broken through the resistance level of this double top pattern, typically a bullish signal indicating the potential for further upward momentum. Despite some fluctuations, QQQ remains above the 200-day simple moving average, SMA 200, represented by the green line. This tells us that we're still in a positive trend, and it's worth noting that this uptrend started with the Golden Cross on March 13, 2023. For those unfamiliar, the Golden Cross occurs when the 50-day SMA, purple line, crosses above the 200-day SMA and is often interpreted as a long-term bullish indicator. This Golden Cross has given the market some solid upward momentum, which we're still benefiting from. But how long will this upward trend last? Will it span 2 years, 3, 5, or even longer? We'll keep a close eye on it, and future videos will dive deeper into these projections, especially given that we're in the early stages of the AI revolution. If we think back to the internet revolution of the 1990s leading up to the 2001 dot-com bubble, we may be looking at several years of rising markets thanks to the current surge in AI advancements. Last month, I highlighted why we think TQQQ will continue to climb for the remainder of 2024. One of the factors driving this optimism is the decrease in reverse repos. For those who may not be familiar, reverse repurchase agreements, reverse repos, are tools used by central banks, like the Federal Reserve, to manage liquidity in the banking system. You can see the reverse repo chart on the Federal Reserve Bank of New York's website, which spans from 2014 to November 2024. There was a notable increase in reverse repos from 2021 to 2022, followed by a decrease from 2023 to 2024. In the past year, this reduction has potentially added liquidity to the financial system, helping to support the stock market. When the Federal Reserve lowers reverse repo volumes, it effectively injects liquidity, which can reduce short-term interest rates and boost stock prices. Many experts expect reverse repos to decrease further over the next 3 to 6 months. And, as we anticipated in the October update, reverse repos have continued trending downward towards zero. Another factor contributing to our confidence is the resilience of the U.S. economy. According to the GDP Now forecast, third-quarter GDP growth is estimated at 2.5%. A GDP growth rate of this magnitude is often seen as a positive indicator, showing steady economic expansion, typically associated with job growth, increased consumer spending, and overall economic stability. Also, the Federal Reserve cut interest rates by a quarter point today, which is beneficial for the stock market. Now, let's get into our portfolio's performance this month. As I committed to in the October update, I bought $1,000 worth of TQQQ again in November. This brings our total investment for the first 12 months of the TQQQ challenge to $12,000, just as I promised when we launched the challenge last December. In our first month, we started with a $1,000 investment, and now our portfolio has grown to over $15,700. That's a 30% total return or $3,600 in gains. Last month, we were looking at an 18% return and $2,000 in gains, so it's fantastic to see that upward shift. If you're interested in comparing with last month's progress, make sure to check out the previous video, TQQQ Challenge, October 2024. For my November purchase, my average cost per share rose to $63.46 after buying 13 shares at $76.50 on November 6th. This month's addition brings us to a total of 190 shares of TQQQ. As for selling, I haven't sold any shares, nor do I plan to, unless there are clear indicators of an imminent market crash. I keep a close eye on insights from financial experts, and if they signal a potential crash, I'll consider selling. Otherwise, I'm sticking to my EDCA strategy and holding steady. Our commitment to this challenge hasn't changed, we're still aiming to invest $360,000 over 30+ years. By remaining disciplined and consistent with this approach, the potential to grow this into a multi-million-dollar investment is very realistic. As we proceed with the TQQQ challenge, let's remember our foundational principles. 1. Monthly investment. Committing to $1,000 in TQQQ each month for 30+ years. 2. Enhanced dollar cost averaging, EDCA. Investing more during lows and less during highs. 3. Sell before crashes. Planning to sell only if a substantial market crash is expected, then reinvesting after the dip. 4. No margin. Avoiding the risks associated with borrowing money for trading. As always, a quick reminder, this channel is for entertainment purposes only. While I'm sharing my personal investment approach, it's essential for you to create a plan that aligns with your individual financial goals and risk tolerance. Thank you for joining me for this month's update. Be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on future updates. Take care, and I'll see you next month.